Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si G. Tonji and welcome to one of the most anticipated segments we have on our show, Kababayan Today, Foodie Fridays. During this time of giving thanks for the many blessings we have, we celebrate today's Foodie Fridays with an extended member of my family. Born in the Philippines and raised in Hawaii, si Chef Rodelio Aglibot has developed several successful restaurants all over the world. Known to the world over as the Food Buddha because of his dedication to his heritage and his approach to the creative menu development, si Chef Rod po has been featured on many national television programs for his new Asian cuisine, as well as Italian and American cooking, particularly his series that aired on TLC called The Food Buddha. With many accolades, he remains as grounded as the day I met him. And he's here, I'm very excited. He's here on Kababayan Today for the first time with his parents, si Reggie and Sally Aglibot. We'll introduce you guys to them in a little bit, but on the menu today, we're making adobo pork belly and avocado mousse. Welcome to Kababayan Today.
It's so nice to be here.
Oh,
So good to see you.
Every time I see you, it's like there's so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. Talk about food, talk about life, the family. But you know, we've known each other for a long time, and it's my first time here on the show, and I'm so excited.
Okay, so let me tell you how I got to meet Chef Rodelio. I was at this really amazing restaurant in West Hollywood, and I said, "Wow, this chicken tastes like chicken I grew up with. Who's the chef?" So I called over, who was
one of the managers?
Yeah, one of the managers, and I say, "Please, can you give my compliments to the chef?" The chef comes out, and I'm like, "You're Filipino! You're Filipino!" I was so excited, and I remember that day like it was yesterday.
That was a long time ago.
Well, you've done so much in your career. I'm so excited that you're here to share your amazing recipes with us. But before anything else, because like I said, you introduced me to your family. It's just proper that we introduce all of you to Rod's family. Kasama natin si Tito Reggie at si Tita Sally Aglibot, who are here with us today. Hi,
to be here.
I call these people mom and dad because they're like my second parents.
Yeah.
So it's so great to have you here, Tita Sally. How are you
My
doing?
pleasure. I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So habang nagluluto si Chef Rod, Chef Rod, why don't you tell us what's on the menu for today? I'm going to chat with mom and dad.
Well, on the menu for today, we have pork belly adobo and avocado mousse, and these two dishes are inspired by these two people that are here. You know, being Filipino and growing up in Hawaii, my first mentors and teachers were my parents, and so when people say, "Well, how do you cook good food?" and I said, "Well, I ate good food growing up, so I know what goes well together." So, yeah, so these are the two dishes really inspired by both of my parents.
Okay, so what are we going to need for our first dish that we're making?
Well, the first dish we're making is a pork belly adobo. So, you know, traditionally we use the shoulder, or we use the chicken, or whatever it may be, or a mixture. Here we kind of make it a little bit sexier. So I use pork belly. And so I did this dish. I've been doing this dish for 10 years. I did it when I had my restaurant here in Los Angeles. So this pork belly adobo has been with me for a long time, so I can do it in my sleep. But it's
Well,
one of those things.
you know, this is a hit because I used to work with Chef Rod at the restaurant. And everybody, when they tasted this, mwah, ang sarap talaga.
I'm so proud naman.
Oh, we're all so proud of Chef Rod. Okay, so why don't you walk us through the steps?
Right, so it's like the basic adobo. Obviously, we have the garlic, we have the onions, and but here's where the searing of the pork is really important. I'm going to season the pork with pepper and salt. And the more the better, because Filipino food is about being bold and having lots of flavor. And so when I make Filipino-inspired dishes, I make sure it has a lot of flavor. Because some people, our food is not bland. It's a very beautiful, very warming, but it's the food of the people. You know, I'm one of the chefs, you know, nationally who get interviewed why Filipino food is not mainstream or what are the challenges. And I say, well, for one, it's the food of the people. Once you start making it too fusion or too try to make it Americanized, it's no longer the food of the people. It loses its soul. It loses its essence. So it's important that, you know, even though we try to move our cuisine forward to the mainstream, it's also important that our food has its roots. Yeah.
And of course, you learned to cook because Tito Reggie, tell us about you were a chef in the Navy for a long time, weren't you?
Yes, I spent 23 years in the Navy. as a chef. And we did a lot of cooking, serving the officers and enlisted men on the ship.
Okay, so Tito Reggie, saan po kayo natutong magluto?
Well, you just learn by watching.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, di ba? Ang galing ng Pilipino.
Sinabi mo.
Learn by
You learn
watching.
by watching.
Yeah.
You learn by eating, but that's the thing. And you know, and being Filipino and especially raised in Hawaii, we tried so many different combinations, right? And so you weren't afraid to taste things. You weren't afraid to have different types of things on the plate. you know?
Right.
And that's where my parents taught me how to eat well.
Okay, so while we're frying this,
Yeah.
do you have to have a special pan?
Well, I like to finish this in the oven, so we're going to sear it in a heavy pan or heavy pot, and then I'm going to put the remaining the liquids in there, and then we're going to basically cook it for 3 hours.
3 hours,
3 hours,
so
so
we
it's nice and
simmer
tender.
it, yeah.
So it'll be simmered in the oven at 325 degrees.
Okay, so when we return here on Kababayan Today, kausap pa rin natin ang parents ni Chef Rod, and then we'll walk you through the steps to complete the meal, okay? We'll be right back here on Kababayan Today.